Hello learners, thanks for tuning in to this social studies lesson today. In this lesson, we are going to begin looking at a rather broad topic on political development and systems. And to take us through this lesson is Teacher Bushnell. So sharpen your appetite and stay tuned. To help us better understand the lesson of the day, I would like you, together with your parent or guardian, to discuss the following. 1. The political parties that you know in Kenya. 2. Which is the ruling party? 3. Who is the leader of the ruling party? And 4. In your own opinion, are political parties of any importance in this country? Kindly discuss that. I'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Learner, it will interest you to note that in the same way we have political associations in Kenya today, we also had them in the past. In the Kenyan history, we had political associations, and therefore what we are looking at today is not something that is so new, but it is something that we have it in our history. And therefore we are taking time to dig deeper into the political associations activities in this country to help us make more sense of the current world. We would also like to avoid repeating the same mistakes that were done in the past in the present. And at the same time, would like to get into a position where we can offer reasonable predictions of what might happen in the future. Learner, that takes me straight to the topic of discussion today on the activities of the early political associations in Kenya up to 1939. Early political activities by Africans in Kenya started after the country was declared a colony of Britain in 1920. Colonialism had many negative effects on Kenyans, and the following are just some of those negative effects. 1. Africans lost their land to the Europeans. 2. In some areas, Africans were forced to work on European farms in order to raise money to pay tax to the colonial government. 3. The traditional African leaders lost their power, and the African culture and religion were condemned as being backward and evil. And 4. Africans were paid low wages for their labor. Furthermore, they worked under very harsh conditions. Learners, These are just some of the many reasons that led Africans to form political associations to fight for their rights. Some of the early political associations formed in Kenya included the following. 1. The Young Kikuyu Association, which was formed in 1921, and shortly after that, the East African Association was formed in the same year. 1 year later, in 1922, the Kavirondo Taxpayers Welfare Association was formed. And 3 years later, in 1925, the Kikuyu Central Association was formed. Many of these associations were regional, and they involved a few communities in each region. I would like us now to look at one of these associations, and that is the Young Kikuyu Association, shortly after this. The Young Kikuyu Association, YKA, was formed by Harry Thuku and others in June 1921. Through the association, people demanded their rights and the return of their land. They also demanded political leadership. Members of the association also complained about the kipande. This was an identification card. Therefore, they complained about it, the kipande system. Now, the kipande was a document that all males were required to carry wherever they went. It featured basic personal details, fingerprints, and unemployment history. The Native Registration Amendment Ordinance of 1920 made it compulsory for African males of above the age of 15. The document would be folded and put in a pouch-like metal box. The African males would then hang the metal box on their necks. Africans also complained about the taxes they were paying and the low wages they were being paid by the colonial government. Let us now look at some of the reasons that led to the formation of the YKA. YKA was formed because of the following reasons. 1. To fight the kipande system, which the Africans considered enslaving. 2. To protest against the introduction of heart tax. This was introduced to force the male adults to work in European farms so as to earn wages to enable them pay taxes for their houses. And 3, to fight against injustices related to loss of land to the European settlers. And 4, to demand for political leadership. And finally, number 5, the founders also wanted Africans to have access to Western education, which would equip them with knowledge, just like the Europeans. The education the Africans received only made them useful in the European farms. Learner, let's now look at the role played by YKA in the struggle for independence. The YKA played an important role in the struggle for independence in the following ways. 1. It united the Kikuyu community against colonialism. 2. It educated its members on their rights and helped them to fight for what was theirs. And finally, number 3, it provided an opportunity for Africans to practice leadership. Many African leaders gained their leadership skills through the activities of the association. Assignment 1. List 4 negative effects that colonialism had on Kenyans. 2. In which year was the Young Kikuyu Association formed? 3. Who formed YKA? 4. What is Kipande system? 5. List at least 3 reasons for the formation of YKA. 6. Mention at least 2 roles played by YKA in the struggle for independence. Learner, we have come to the end of our lesson. Should you have any queries or comments, kindly text them to me using the number on your screen. If you are receiving this through the YouTube channel, kindly don't forget to subscribe at the bottom of this video. Learner, join me in the next lesson as we look at the East African Association. And until then, it's bye-bye for now. Thanks for tuning in and have a lovely day.